Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Command. So as we take a look at the cryptocurrency markets today, you can see that there is a change from the sea of red that we have seen over the past week or so. There is more green across the board now. Mainly Bitcoin has not been moving a lot lately, but it is floating around the $11,000 mark. We are seeing positive increases in Cardano and Stellar. There are a lot of things that are continuing to move up, NEO, EOS, and as we go across, it's pretty much a mixed bag. There are coins that are doing really well. Steam continues to show a big jump. This is probably the biggest increase that we've seen, almost 50%, now above $6. So a lot of interesting things going on in the market. We are sitting at a market cap currently of $560 billion. So today I'm going to focus on a few of the large cap coins, where they stand, where things might go. So let's start out with the big one, Bitcoin. As you can see, we have kind of been flailing around a little bit over the past week, not really moving anywhere. There have been the big red candles. Those have been our negative days. We've had a couple of those. But really going back ever since the run up to close to 20,000, I'm on the Coinbase charts here, so it depends on which exchange you look at. Things have kind of continued to move overall back down. So how far could this go down? That's really the question that everyone's been asking. Of course, no one knows the answer to that, but the line that I've drawn here in blue is a line where I think there could be some support. So first of all, if we go back to early December where we started to see this big run up, it was the run toward 20,000. As you saw, this is the one-day chart, and as you saw continuing to move up day after day in early December, there were a couple of days where there was a bit of a question as to whether or not this momentum would continue. This was as the volume increased and really as the RSI was continuing to go up, went way up during these big green days. But for 2 days in here, there was a bit of uncertainty. You can see overall finished down just a little bit on these days. The wicks, I'll move my cursor out of the way so you can see, the wicks on those candles were very large. So there was a lot of action that happened on those days. And so that was right around the 99.50 mark. Now, as we look into the past week or so, if you draw this line out to where we are now, you can see these wicks, the bottom of these wicks, where we currently are on many of these days, particularly this big red day and a couple of more recent days, this has been the bottom. And so this is one level, 99.50 is one level where I am currently looking for Bitcoin to hold. So as we continue to sit in this area, if we see the Bitcoin price continue to go down, and we are currently sitting above 11,000, but if this were to move down more, if it can bounce against 99.50, I will be interested to see how it continues to move. If it goes below 99.50, there's a possibility to continue to move lower. So that is not to try to indicate any FUD here. And of course, I am not a financial advisor, so please do your own research on this. But that's simply the level that I'm looking at. If we were to bounce off of 99.50, this could possibly bounce back up and have some positive price action. So I think we're going to continue to see a bit of movement in the sideways channel, as there's not a lot of news right now to move this in either direction. Part of this may be just as the market continues to integrate the Bitcoin futures with the CBOE and CME. So just a level to watch as we continue to move forward. All right, so if we go down the charts on CoinMarketCap, the next two that have really shown the most positive price action recently are Cardano and Stellar. So in all disclosure, I sadly do not have any Cardano or Stellar, but have definitely been watching these. So let's take a look at Cardano today. And this has just been a phenomenal run for Cardano. So back in early December, as a lot of things were moving up, this was the catalyst in seeing this big bump. And then right around the start of 2018 is when things jumped way up. But since then, things have generally moved sideways. So I am looking at the Bittrex chart here. And just on the chart alone, it looks like there was a big spike in volume as things moved up. And then that volume has really tapered off. And this was interesting to me looking at the Bittrex chart because Cardano continues to move up. If we look at Cardano, let's focus in on Cardano here. We'll look at the price. This will be the USD price here on CoinMarketCap. As things had moved up, there have been a bunch of spikes going in both directions, but overall volume has stayed very high. So if we actually go specifically to Cardano here and look at the markets, you can see that the volume for Cardano is primarily driven, almost 80% is on Upbit. So this is a Korean exchange that the 24-hour volume here has been 850 million. So this is in comparison to Bittrex and Binance, which are each doing somewhere around 65, 70 million. So these are really a very small fraction of the total Cardano market compared to Upbit. So looking at the chart alone here for Bittrex and seeing this trailing off of volume really doesn't mean anything. So Upbit is primarily driving what's happening in Cardano, but I would love to see Bittrex and Binance, some of these other big exchanges, see an increase in volume if Cardano is really to continue this positive movement forward. So this is really just one to watch as we see this price going forward. Again, this is a sideways channel. Part of this is probably going to depend on which way Bitcoin decides to move in the near future. If you have thoughts on Cardano, please leave it in the comments below. Would love to learn more about this one if any of you have been following this one closely. Okay, so next one and last one that I would like to cover today is NEO. So as you may know, NEO was a coin that on this channel we looked for as one to watch in January, and it has certainly been exciting to watch during this month. So we started out in early January and have seen over a 2x return in NEO during that time. And looking here on the Binance charts, you can see that we've had some tremendous days, lots of strong green candles here. And then as we reached about a little over a week ago, as we had some negative days in the market for Bitcoin, things started to trail off a little bit, and the positive action on NEO has stalled out a bit. So there's a possibility of some sort of triangle setting up here. I'm not going to try to draw anything. The only thing that I want to mention here is that I'm absolutely holding on to NEO right now, and part of that has to do with the other factors that could drive some excitement in NEO before the end of January. So part of the reason that we've been interested in NEO during January are all the ICOs that are being added to the platform, and that is still continuing. High quality ICOs continue to be listed. The NEP5 tokens are continuing to grow. And new exchanges like Binance and KuCoin are really helping to drive some big adoption of those particular tokens. The other thing in the near term that could be a positive factor for NEO is that the NEO Developers Conference is coming up in San Francisco now in less than a week at the end of January, on January 30th and 31st. So this could be a positive catalyst for NEO continuing to go forward. So all in all, some positive news that could happen to some of these. I think the biggest thing to watch is just to make sure that Bitcoin continues to hold on near the levels where it is. So I think one of the big things that we've seen in the markets is that the altcoins remain correlated with Bitcoin, regardless of whether Bitcoin is moving way up or way down. Often we see a little delay in the altcoins, but really having the alts be able to support themselves is still not something we've continued to be able to see, but maybe something that we see going later into 2018. So some things to watch going forward for the large caps. Hope this was helpful to you guys. Give this video a like if you found this information helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, thanks for watching Crypto Command.